Hello everyone, this is Amit Lathigra. In this video, I am demonstrating how can we generate a pyramid-like pattern. Meaning, if user is entering say number of rows 5, then I want to generate patterns which looks like this. If number of rows are 5, then in respective row, number of asterisk same as row number, like in first row 1, second row 2, third row 3, 4, 5, and so on. But I want to print a asterisk on screen in such a way that it looks like pyramid, as I mentioned here. Let's analyze how can we achieve this. Consider user is entering number of rows 3. So my pattern looks like this, 3 rows. Let's analyze a little bit. This is my row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. Let's put it in matrix to understand how we need to generate pattern by printing asterisk on screen. So this is what my pattern. Here, let's first understand about spaces and asterisk, because it's all about arranging blank spaces and asterisk on screen to get the desired output. Let's analyze in number of ways. Very first is how many asterisks in respective lines. So if you are at line number 1, then 1 asterisk, line number 2, then 2 asterisk, line number 3 means 3 asterisk. So number of asterisk same as row number. Same as row number. Second, here if you observe, there is a blank spaces in between as well. For example, this is asterisk and this is a blank space. Let's put blank space in this way so that we can understand it's not going to visible on screen, but we can feel its presence, white space character. This is asterisk, so here there is a blank space. This is asterisk in general, after asterisk, blank space. This is asterisk, blank space. This is asterisk, blank space. This is asterisk. Let's consider blank space after it. So there is a pair of asterisk followed by blank spaces. This is my second observation. This is my second observation. So second one is we need to display blank space followed by asterisk. Let's consider third observation. This is my row number 1, 2, and 3. Total number of rows, let's consider it as NR, number of rows, that is 3. And here, 2 blank spaces we have. Here we have 1 blank space and here we have 0 blank spaces. So here how these 2 blank spaces comes? What is the correlation between number of rows and row, that is 1, 2, and 3. So relation is, if you can check, total number of rows are 3. If we subtract 1, that is current row number. So 3 minus 1 means 2. So 2 blank spaces. If you consider row number 2, then total number of rows are 3 minus current row number is 2. So 3 minus 2 means 1. If we are at row number 3, total number of rows are 3 minus current row number, that is 3. 3 minus 3, 0 means 0 blank spaces. So how many blank spaces to begin with? That is our initial blank spaces, meaning total number of row minus current row number. So this is the entire scenario, the logic behind this program. Let's consider user is entering number of rows is 4. So 4 rows we require, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's start with the first row. First row, Total number of rows are 4 minus 1, so 3, meaning just I'm putting a dot to give you the glimpse that we are going to put 3 blank spaces followed by asterisk followed by 1 blank space. Let's consider next row number 2, meaning 4 minus 2, so 2 blank spaces. Number of asterisk are 2, asterisk followed by blank spaces. If you are at row number 3, 4 minus 3, meaning 1 blank space and 3 asterisk, which are followed by blank spaces. Number of rows are 4. We are at 4th row, 4 minus 4, that is 0, no blank space. Straight away, we are putting asterisk on screen. Now, these all dots are basically a blank spaces. So if I remove it from the screen just for the purpose of demonstration, then we'll get the exact output, a pyramid kind of pattern on screen. So in this way it works. What we need to take care is we need to generate number of rows like we are generating in usual patterns. This is step number 2. Step number 2, this is step number 1. Step number 2 is putting the blank spaces on screen, followed by step number 3, putting asterisk on screen. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and in this way we generate pattern as I demonstrated here. Now let's consider its flow chart so that we'll get an idea how it looks like. So my flow chart starts with start symbol. What comes next? Input, how many rows we want to generate. So after start, my input, that is number of rows. After that, we need to start with generating rows on screen. So let's initialize our loop variable row with 1. I want to start with first row. How many rows we want to generate? We need to specify it in form of condition. So my condition looks like is my row, current row is less than or equivalent to number of row. This is my condition. Two possibilities. One is false, one is true. My row number is greater than number of row, meaning we are done with generating a pattern. So it is as simple as stopping the flowchart. If it is true, means yes, we need to generate a row. So how we are generating a row? We are generating a row in such a way that first we are putting respective number of blank spaces, that is repetition. For example, if we are at row number 1, so 4 minus 1, we need to put 3 blank spaces. So this is a repetition process. It's a loop. We need to generate blank spaces repetitively. So what we need to do here to have a loop, let's initialize column variable. We need to start with 1. How many times we need to generate this loop? It depends on which row we are working with and total number of rows. So as per our formula, it is total number of rows minus current row number. So if my column value is less than or equivalent to total number of row minus current row, if this is true, let me rewrite it again. If my column value less than or equivalent to total number of row minus current row number. If this is true, then something. If it is false, then something. Let's consider it is true, meaning we need to display blank space on screen. So let's put blank space on screen. So print blank space. This is a blank space. We need to increase value of column by 1. So column is equal to column plus 1. And it's a repetitive process. Generating blank space is a repetitive process. So let's go to the beginning of the loop. As soon as blank space is generated successfully, and once this condition is false, meaning we need to start generating asterisk on screen. And how many number of asterisk depends on current row number. If you are at row number 3, meaning we need to generate 3 blank spaces on 3 asterisk on screen. So if this condition is false, meaning we are done with printing asterisk, so we need to initialize a loop variable to generate the asterisk on screen. So let's use column is equal to 1. And let's have condition. What my condition is now, condition is how many number of asterisk we need to generate on screen. It depends on total number of rows, and based on total number of rows, in which row we are currently working. So current row number. So is my column variable is less than or equivalent to current row number? Two possibilities. What if it is false? What if it is true? So it is a true. True meaning we need to generate asterisk on screen. We need to display asterisk. So print. We need to print asterisk followed by blank spaces. Asterisk followed by blank spaces to get the pattern of pyramid. So we need to generate pattern, and so asterisk, and after asterisk there is the blank space. We need to increase value of column by 1. So my column is equal to column plus 1. And from here we need to go to the loop again. So I am going in this way. Once this condition is false, meaning we generated all asterisk on screen, we need to go to the new line to get the new line. So we need to print new line. We need to increase value of row by 1. And from here, we need to go to the loop, which is responsible to generate the row. So it comes here. Let's connect it with this block of row. Since it comes here, yeah, we need to generate it at this place. And we need to connect both the blocks. So let's connect it at bottom part. That's it. So this is my flow chart to print the pattern on screen, how it looks like. Let's have the full view of flowchart. Let's even reduce the size. So here it looks like this. Let's check how it works. Let's go with number of rows is 3. So here, say, for example, user is entering number of rows values as 3. Consider row as 1 as we are initializing. Here 1 is less than or equivalent to number of rows that are 3. It is true, so column is equal to 1. Column is less than or equivalent to number of rows minus current row number. So total number of rows are 3. 3 minus current row number is 1. So 3 minus 1 means 2. So it works for value of column is 1 and value of column is 2. So it is true at this point of time. 1 is less than or equivalent to 2. So print blank space. So it is going to print blank space, column plus 1, value of column is 2 now. 2 less than or equivalent to 2, that is true. So one more blank space. Column is equal to column plus 1. So 3 less than or equivalent to 2, that is false. Once again, we are initializing column value to 1. So my column value is 1. Now we are printing asterisk. So 1 is less than or equivalent to row number is 1. So 1 less than or equivalent to 1, true, print asterisk followed by blank space, asterisk and blank space. Column is equal to column plus 1. So value of column is 2 now. 2 less than or equivalent to 1, it is false, print a new line. So we are at new line now. Row is equal to row plus 1, value of row becomes 2 now. 2 less than or equivalent to 3, it is a true. We are initializing column to 1, but now here condition is total number of rows are 3. 3 minus 2, so 1. So my current value of column is 1 less than or equivalent to 1. It is a true. Print blank space. So 1 blank space it's going to print. Column is equal to column plus 1. Value of column is 2 now. 2 less than or equal to 1, that is false. Initialization of column to 1. Column is less than or equivalent to row. So now value of column is 1. Value of row is 2. 1 is less than or equivalent to 2. True. Print asterisk followed by blank spaces. Column is equal to column plus 1. So 2 less than or equivalent to 2. It is a true. One more time asterisk and blank space. Column plus 1. So column becomes 3 now, 3 less than or equal to 2, which is false, printing a new line. So we are at new line, row is equal to row plus 1. So value of row is 3 now. Column initialized with 3 because 3 is less than or equal to 3. Condition is true, column is 1. Now here 3 minus 3 is 0. So my condition is value of column that is 1, 1 less than or equivalent to 0, which is false, meaning no blank spaces at all. It is false. Initialization of column 1, current row number is 3. So value of column is 1 at this point of time, and value of row is 3. So 1 less than or equivalent to 3. True. Print asterisk on screen followed by blank space, column plus 1. So 2. Condition is true. Asterisk and blank space, column plus 1. So 3. One more time asterisk and blank space on screen. Column plus 1, so 4. 4 less than or equivalent to 3. Condition is false. Printing a new line. Value of row is now 4. 4 less than or equivalent to 3. Condition is false. So stop. So on screen we'll get pyramid pattern as per our expectation. Now let's check its Python program, how it works. Let's ask user how many rows user wants to have on screen. Let's consider for loop. This is for row. So in range of starting with 1 up to total number of rows, but I want to include this number as well. So plus 1. So either we need to start with 0. If we start with 0, then we can write number of row because number of rows value is not part of this loop. And if we start with 1, considering row number 1, then including total number of rows, let's write nr plus 1, meaning if user is entering value of nr as 3, then here it looks like 1, 4. So it executes in this way for 1, for 2, for 3, not for 4. So number of rows plus 1. Then what we require is we require to generate blank spaces on screen. So let's use column in range of how many blank spaces, starting with 1. Total number of rows minus current row number. So total number of rows minus current row number, and that number is inclusive, so plus 1. And this is to print basically a blank space on screen. So print blank space. At end, we don't want to do anything, or else it's going to take cursor in new line. So this is a loop to generate the blank spaces. Another loop to generate the asterisk. So column in range of how many asterisk depends on in which row we are, but this is inclusive, so plus 1. And we need to print asterisk on screen followed by blank space and nothing at end. So once we are done with printing blank spaces followed by asterisk, we need to go to the new line. So let's use print. So it is going to put cursor in a new line. So based on the flowchart, this is a simple Python program. Let's check its output. Enter number of rows. Let me enter 5. And this is what output on screen, a pattern of type pyramid. Let me enter number of rows 15. Let me enter number of rows 3. Let me enter number of rows 10. So it's very simple Python program. This is a flowchart. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good time ahead.